This is Brian Drummond here, the OG voice of Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z, and you're watching Anime Secrets. It's over 9,000!
Toku Secrets is a podcast run by the Anime Secrets website. Check us out at animesecrets.org for more anime, video game, tokusatsu content. Remember to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts today.
Oh, yes! This is Goldar, and you're listening to Toku Secrets Podcast. Don't tune us out, tune us in!
Welcome to Toku Secrets. Join us as we journey into the marvelous world of Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Power Rangers, and many other tokusatsu. Get ready for the adventure of a lifetime. It's Morphin time! Link to the Morphin. I'm Nathan Desai, the dazzling adventurer, Boken Silver.
I'm Patrick Allen, I'm Shinken Red.
And I'm Rizwan Merchant, Gokai Red.
And I'm Anthony Davis, also known as Curie Green. And we're Toku Secrets.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Toku Secrets Podcast, presented by animesecrets.org. And today, we are beginning a new journey through another Sentai. We've taken a journey. We went on a treasure hunt for the greatest treasure in the universe. We went on a journey of a samurai. We went through a journey that was pretty ill-advised, where we're learning all about Juken, and then we've also taken a look through some older Sentai, such as Ranger and O Ranger, and we went through a journey through the Ginga Forest as well, quite a bit of stuff. And today we are beginning a magical journey through the world of Magitopia as we begin Mahou Sentai Magiranger.
What he meant to say is we took an ill-advised turn twice, once for Juke and once to learn about the most boring Sentai in the world.
Well, actually, ill-advised journeys when you think about it, because we also have Ranger as well. I know Patrick knows that one.
Ill-advised is being too polite about it.
No,
yeah, it is.
That wasn't ill-advised. That was ill-intentioned.
Yeah. No, that was very ill. No. Okay, but see, I think yes, it was ill-intentioned for us to go to Ranger because I totally made y'all do that, but our journey into Juken was the most unavoidable train wreck of our lives. I mean, not even Tokyo O could have saved us from that train wreck.
Okay, haha, dad jokes. But yeah, I mean, we've had more good adventures than bad adventures, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we've had some good ones. I mean, I think my favorite is still racing on the tracks at Go On Zer. That was a lot of fun. And Boom Boom Zer. Yeah. Racing was a lot of fun.
Yeah, but I think we're about to start a pretty good journey right here. So, but yeah, we'll dive into that. Mahou Sentai Magiranger. We're taking a look at episodes or stages, as they're called, 1 through 5 today. And we're going to have roughly either 9 or 10 podcasts for this one, back to our usual format. A little bit of an intro to Magiranger, just some basic information. It aired from 2005 to 2006. It is the 29th installment of the Super Sentai franchise. The translation is pretty basic: Magic Squadron Magiranger. Mahou translates to magic, and Magi is obviously a shortened version of the word magic. The theme is obviously magic, with a little bit of a fantasy elements sprinkled in there. The head writer for this Sentai is Atsui Maekawa. This is his only gig as any tokusatsu head writer. He served as an assistant writer on Hurricaneger and Abaranger, doing 9 and 8 episodes for those series, respectively. He's mainly worked on anime. He's worked for the Dragon Ball franchise, where he did Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball GT, which I watched Dragon Ball Z a bit, so I know that one's pretty popular. But if going off of the if going off the reputation of that series from these guys is any indication, I don't think GT was all that great.
No, GT is the equivalent of like O-Ranger in our opinion.
Do you love series where they just don't know how to kill the enemies? Because that's GT.
Not really a big fan.
You know,
oh wow.
You know what? Hang on, Patrick. I think I was misrepresenting when I said that. Actually, I think O-Ranger is a step below GT. Actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
no, I can
GT,
like
GT is a bit entertaining.
See, this is my just a little rant about this, but holy crap! It took them like 12 episodes to kill Omega Shenron. There was no excuse for that.
I mean, Patrick,
that could irritate me. That irritates me. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It took us like 3 months of my life as a kid to get through all of the Frieza battle because it stood on the planet forever.
His planet will blow up in 5 minutes. 20.
Well, to be fair, Frieza was more entertaining because I actually like the stuff with Frieza, but that's just
right. They had characters that were actually written. O-Ranger had nothing.
Yeah.
At least they didn't forget that Krillin's a character and didn't ever use him. He was there. He died.
I'll have to.
Unlike Ricky.
I mean, I've been thinking about trying to like watch it just from start to finish, so I'm definitely going to be curious what GT is looking like. So,
yeah, depends on what continuity you want to go down, but that's a whole nother podcast and a whole different channel that we have. So,
yeah,
we will talk that one day though, because that's a really fun debate.
Cool. But the other two franchises, he did Digimon. So we did Digimon Adventure and Adventure 02, and also Tamers, which, yeah, I'll let these guys be the judge.
2 out of 3 is not bad, huh? What do y'all think?
Yeah. Adventure is amazing. Tamers is amazing. 02 is the perfect example of what happens when you don't have a head writer.
But they had a head writer. He just
well, he didn't do what a head writer is supposed to do and keep everybody in line. The show was literally just idea dartboard the show. Here's
That's
5 different
impression.
Here's 5 different
like
plot lines happening at the here's 5 different plot lines happening at the same time. None of them having anything to do with each other, and almost all of them not really ending. They just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will never forgive them for not giving us the Dark Ocean completely and giving us Shikakumon. I never.
We've been over this rant millions of times. Let's save it for another video. The Dark Ocean rant's been done to death. Let's just move on.
Well, it's funny you say that, and this is a spoiler for what we're going to be doing soon on another podcast called Anime Declassified, which is our shameless plug-in for that podcast.
Sweet.
We are going to be looking at Adventure 02 to follow up on our adventures in Adventure 01. Haha, pun, adventure.
Oh, boy.
So we'll be looking at that, and then Frankie is trying to convince me that Try is the next thing we should be looking at after, so...
God dang it.
It sounds like you guys will be having a lot of fun.
I'll be trying to have a lot of fun, but I don't think I will be.
And the other franchise, Yu-Gi-Oh!, where he did Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, that's the original series, and GX, Arc V, and Brains, which the thing is that everything with Yu-Gi-Oh! Is kind of fuzzy to me after 5Ds. Like, I love the original series. It hasn't really aged well in terms of the dub, and GX is... I thought GX was kind of cool with what little I saw of it as a kid, and I thought 5Ds outside of the motors... Well, he didn't work on 5Ds, but, like, I thought 5Ds was cool outside of the motorcycle gimmick, but yeah, I don't know anything about Arc V and Brain, so I don't know if that's something I should hold against Maekawa or not.
I would not know because I've never seen either one of those.
Yeah, me too. This is the first Sentai to have footage shot in New Zealand. Remember, this was the Power Rangers Disney era at this point. They were pretty well into the thick of the Disney era at that point. And Toei and Disney kind of worked together to where Disney filmed some original footage for the Sentai's opening sequences, which if you watch the Magiranger opening, you can see some of that.
Yeah,
was
so
that,
I
Anthony? Go
wanted to
ahead.
ask you, Nate. Was this the first opening that had the New Zealand footage shot?
Yeah, first Sentai to
Okay.
have footage, and I I think okay. I don't know about Bokingers. I would have to look at Bokingers opening again, but I could definitely see where they probably filmed some footage for Geki Ranger. But yeah, it's kind of
It was just
you need to go
I
back
think
and
it was just
watch
this
all those
Geki Ranger, I
openings.
think. I think it was
Yeah,
just Geki Ranger because I didn't see anything any other opening with that type of footage.
yeah. This is for final Sentai to be filmed in standard definition and full screen. It started being filmed in HD and widescreen, starting with Bokenger. It's the last Sentai to be released on VHS home video. All Sentai starting next would be released on DVD exclusively, and with Gokaiger it would be on Blu-ray. And finally, Magiranger was adapted into Power Rangers Mystic Force, which is the big reason why we're reviewing it now, because we just had that big Mystic Force reunion over at Ranger Stop and Pop. Risen, we decided to review it in celebration of that, and because we did Mystic Force, we want to now take a look at Magiranger, and here we are now, and we are going to jump right in with our episode reviews. We got a lot to talk about. So yeah, we are going to start off with episode or stage one. All these episodes are called stages. The episode is called "The Morning of Departure," Majiro, which there are going to be some words that don't technically mean anything, just like in Geki Ranger, but they're not. But this time, it's not just a name gibberish talked by an idiot whose name I'm not going to mention because I don't want to.
Whoa. Hold up. We cannot compare magical spells to the illiterate ramblings of an idiot from the Jungle Man.
Exactly.
That is so unfair to even make that reference, Nate. That's no. Party
Okay,
foul.
okay. Okay.
Party foul.
I'll go stand in the corner for 2 minutes then. Whatever.
Yes.
I
Patrick,
mean,
take
I think he
over.
might have did just see your reaction, honestly.
Well,
Yeah.
he got my reaction. And
Well,
it's going to put a Coda stain on his neck, and he's got to go stand in the corner for 2 minutes because, dear God, did he really insult poor Kai and the rest of his team. If I were the Magirangers,
yeah,
I'd be insulted right now. This is an automatic victory for Magiranger. They cannot lose anymore.
cool. But yeah, as Rich just said, that those words are different types of spells that they use, which in the case of Majiro, that's actually their Henshin call, the spell that they use to transform, which is pretty cool. But yeah, with the first episode, we debut the main five Magi Rangers, Magi Mother, and Inferja. So episode opens up. We are introduced to mysterious evil forces known as the Inferja. They're gathering in the underworld, and we get introduced to our main villains here. We have the vampire-like monster Vancuria. For Mystic Force fans, that's Necrolize's counterpart. We have her boss, and we have her boss Franken. That's Mordecai's counterpart, and they're preparing for their invasion of the Earth's surface. They have their army of Zobiel soldiers. Those things were called Hidiacs in Mystic Force, and the Magic Knight, who's also serving them, Walzard looks on. Walzard is the counterpart of Korag, and so that was a cold open, and then we have the big theme song. Which yeah, let's pause here. What do we think about the Magiranger theme song?
It's catchy. I like it.
Yeah, it's one of the ones that I was never all that big on, but after listening to it 5 times for this string of videos, I'm like, okay, it gets stuck in your head pretty easily. It's not a bad song at all.
Yeah, because I remember last time you were like, I'm not really feeling this song or whatever. I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this song is all right. I think there have been other songs I like more. In fact, hang on.
Understandable.
I mean, it's all right. Like,
I was waiting for you to say that. Thank you.
Yeah,
It's a good song. I mean, it's not like the best,
Yeah.
but it's fine.
best part about it is that little intro at the beginning. Like they don't do it when they do it on the show, but if you listen to like the full thing, it starts off with like violin, like classic theme where it's like a little gentle, and then it starts going into the whole like da 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 da. That is a pretty epic transition from like a gentle classical sounding theme to like an actual like real like yeah type of thing. But even then, I put it in my top 15, probably not top 10 themes though. Like, but that's still kind of tough. Um, but yeah. But I mean, at some point we'll probably do a tier listing for Sentai theme songs, and we'll get that whole thing figured out when we get to that point.
That will be such a long tier listing if we have to listen to the song live as well. Oh my god.
Yeah, but we'll figure out how we'll handle that when we get to it. But let's just keep kicking the can down the road on that one. But yeah, on the surface world, we get introduced to our main characters, the Ozu family. The Ozu family is Miyuki Ozu and her 5 children. So her 5 children are Mikito. He's the hot-blooded and hardy eldest first son. So the dad is not around, so he takes pride in being a father figure to his siblings. He owns his own vegetable farm called Aniki Farm, loves to cook. We have Hoka. She's the very feminine and cheerful, but kind of ditzy, love obsessed. Second eldest. She's the first daughter. We have Urara. She's the sensible second daughter. She takes a little bit more after her mom. And so if Mikito is the father figure, then she's kind of the mama bear here. And then we have Subasa. He is the second son and the second youngest. I know
That's my
Anthony's
goal.
a big fan of this guy.
That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why he's the MVP. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
I fixed it for you.
I think Anthony just kind of spoiled what his tier ranking is going to be at the end of the series.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But yeah, Subasa is kind of cynical and sarcastic, but he's also very intuitive and rational. And then we have Kai. He's the bold but brash third son. He's the youngest. He's still in high school and plays soccer. So Miyuki and the 4 older children, they confront Kai over recklessly endangering himself, over trying to save a girl's balloon. Then this troll monster, it's called a Hades beast. That's what the monsters of the day are called here. It emerges from the ground and through this mysterious seal. Miyuki is all like, okay, I guess the time has come. And she confronts the monster and uses, so you probably guessed it, but she's the White Ranger. So in Mystic Force, Udana used a wand to transform. Here, Miyuki has what's like a white and silver version of the Mystic Morpher. She uses that to transform into a white armored warrior, the ice power wielding white mage, Maji Mother, and she defeats the monster. Maji Mother has her own Maji stick staff. She can perform ice-like spells. And I know it's kind of premature to talk about this before we talk about the main 5 suits, but even if you watch Mystic Force, you know that we're not going to see her that long for a while. So yeah, what do we think about Maji Mother's suit?
One of my favorite alternate Ranger costumes. True story.
Yeah, it's a really good suit. And little known fact, I don't know if you caught on to it or Nate, or if you even saw it at RSP, but Morphin Legacy had come down with the Maji Mother staff, like the one from the Heritage Foundation auction.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so he was walking around at the entire con. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. Doesn't it kind of look like, though, I don't know if this was intentional or not, although it does make sense given the Blue Ranger's character here, but doesn't Majin form, the mermaid, kind of look a little similar to at least the torso part to Majin
I can see it.
You know what? I can see it now. Yep.
Yeah, you point it out and it's a little bit obvious.
Yeah. but I still thought it was pretty cool. Like I remember, like because this even in Mystic Force, this was the first suit that we saw, and I actually remember watching Mystic Force when the first episode came out, and I thought that the White Ranger suit was actually pretty cool. I thought it, and it's definitely still it's got the perfect extra Ranger look where it looks a bit more armored in appearance, but not too much, like compared to some of the other ones. So yeah, I dig it. Probably one of my favorite extra Ranger suits. Did you want to add anything, Anthony?
Definitely. I do love the visor, most definitely, and I just love the fact that it has that, like, it has that. I guess what's the word? I'm trying to word I'm looking for. It's got that flair. It looks like this person looks like, like a powerful mage like type character.
Yeah. But yeah, to continue the story, Miyuki reveals that she's a magician granted power from people known as heavenly saints. And she uses her magic to create new Magi phones. That's the mystic morphers for her four oldest children. They can use this to contact the heavenly world Magitopia, and they can take on their own magic powers. Uh, she's telling them that that they need to become Magiranger in order to protect the world from Inferja, but she refuses to give Kai powers because she views him as too young and reckless, and he lacks courage. Courage is the source of magic for the Magirangers. Zobiels appear in the woods. The four eldest Ozu siblings confront them. They use their Magi phones to transform into Magirangers. So Makito is the earth power wielding green mage, Magi Green. Hoka is the wind power wielding Magi Pink. Urara is the water power wielding Magi Blue. And Tsubasa is the lightning power wielding mage, Magi Yellow. They fight off the Zobiels, but then Walzard appears. Miyuki sensed his approach. And Kai is in the woods. He's watching helplessly as Walzard's overpowering his siblings. And he wants to protect them, even though he's scared. And because of that, that was his sign of courage, which allows him to unlock his magic. And he's able to transform with his own Magi phone and the fire power wielding Magi Red. A little bit about Magirangers. They're equipped with their own standard sidearm, the Magi Stick. Each of the Magi Sticks has a different tip on it based on the corresponding Ranger. All of them can use their Magi Sticks as wands to cast spells based on their elemental powers. So green ground, pink storm, blue splash, yellow thunder, red fire. Kai's stick can transform into a sword mode, Magi Stick sword. Makito can transform into a Magi Stick axe mode. And Tsubasa can transform into Magi Stick bowgun, a crossbow mode for finishing attacks. Unfortunately, Urara and Hoka don't have their own exclusive modes because, they're girls and stuff, I guess. That's so lame. But I'll talk about it again. But yeah, we have all five of the Magirangers now together. What do we think about these suits, guys?
Some of the best in Sentai. The cape. The cape is what makes them. We need more Sentai teams with capes.
Yes.
I will make this a indirect response to another podcast I listened to from like a year and a half ago where they talked about the suits. And one of the co-hosts, who I'll leave anonymous, he said the Mystic Force / Magiranger suits are horrible because they have capes. And I have to rebuttal back and say, you, sir, are incorrect. Capes are
Edna mode. Okay, Edna mode.
No capes.
Actually, he does reference that as a reason.
Stupid though.
It is. And I mean, I think the capes here look really well and flowy and stuff. Honestly, without the capes, they would not look good.
No, they wouldn't.
They
and I have proof of this. When Super Mega Force was happening, they did a line of figures for every Red Ranger. The Mystic Force Red figure didn't have a cape and it looked horrible.
Yeah. I don't know if this is I don't know if this is unpopular or not, although based on what the guys are saying here, I don't think it is. Before the King Ogre suits came along, these were actually my all-time favorite Sentai suits. Like they look awesome. I love the capes. The color balance with those black and gold things, especially where the thing makes an M on the chest. And you love the different visor designs based on animals. That's pretty unique. I mean, red and yellows kind of looked a little too similar, but you can see the differences just enough. Like the suits are honest to God perfect, honestly. Like it's these suits and the G-Ranger suits. Like I, I know that there are probably some MMP fanboys that are going to fight me on this, but I think that these suits are actually better than those suits personally. Um, I just love these suits, honestly.
This is
Um,
awesome. This is awesome. That's really all I can say.
yeah. The only thing I'm gonna say though is that I just think it's lame how pink and yellow don't get this isn't really a suit thing, it's more on the weapons thing. Like they can't get alternate modes for their Magi sticks. Like you could give blue like a trident form where like you slide the thing up to where those two ends are blades and then have the blade extend out. That would be a cool trident. And then
Yeah,
I'm not really sure what you could do with pink, but think up some stuff. You guys are creative.
I would
But
have
that's just a
said you
minor
can give
nitpick.
her like the long wand, kind of like her mom.
Yeah, yeah, that would be great. But yeah, that's just a minor nitpick and definitely not anything to say against these suits. I just like I can't overstate how much I love these suits, honestly. Um, but yeah, Kai helps the his siblings fight off the Zobiels, and then and then they confront Walzord. Walzord summons his mech called Barikion. That's the Dark Magic Horse, Catastrophe's counterpart, and from Mystic Force. He merges with Barikion to become Vulcan Taros. That's a centaur-like mech, and he goes after the helpless Magirangers, and that's how the episode ends. It's basically a two-parter. But yeah, what do we think about the first stage?
Okay,
That's insane,
I
dude.
don't know if this is going to be an unpopular opinion or what, but going back to a point I've brought up many times where I think Power Rangers excels at starting seasons in comparison to Super Sentai. Oh, sweet mother of God, this episode needed to slow down.
I figured you'd say that.
It drops so much so quick, and the characters never really. Okay, so this is my problem. Transforms into Magi Mother for the first time. Cool. Here's your revelation that to the kids that, well, your mother's magic based. So instead of explaining anything to any of them, here's costumes, here's a henshin device. Go and fight these demons with no knowledge on how to actually use magic or anything, except they just somehow know how to use magic all of a sudden. Like they know the incantations, they know how to do everything perfectly. I'm not gelling with that. Like one simple fix is to have made this like the Shinkenders or the Gingamen, where they knew they were in a family of magicians from the beginning and they had been taught magic from the beginning, preparing for this moment, because it's established in the next episode that they were actually born essentially to be the next legacy of magicians to fight this battle. So to have the plot point of them having no idea about any of this kind of makes this whole episode seem stupid. Because think about the Shinkenger first episode. If everybody aside from Takaru were called in to fight and they knew nothing about the Gadoshu, the Shinkengers, or anything like this, and then when they henshin, they just all of a sudden know how to sword fight. That's essentially what happened here.
Yeah, and if you didn't sell this, Patrick, I was going to.
It was infuriating because like you don't know how to use magic. How do you know these incantations all of a sudden?
Well, okay, like it didn't make any sense. Like we're watching them just henson. Like, how do they know how to henson?
Exactly.
How do they know?
I mean, you could say the same. I mean, well, okay, keep going, Riz. Sorry, I'll let you finish him, and I'll chime in.
I think that was one part of the episode I didn't really care for, but I do like this family dynamic and what could have been here. Like, had they been trained from the beginning, or at least aware of, oh, hey, your family is a bunch of wizards, and you got to go to Diagon Alley to pick up your supplies to go to Hogwarts to learn how to be a magician, then this would have been better. But they didn't do all that. So yeah, I think the problem here is they rust a lot, but I think the general premise is pretty cool nonetheless.
Yeah, I honestly I do agree with Patrick that if they just made that one slight change where maybe Miyuki had been training them to use their magic, and you could have the whole thing where well, actually, no. Here's what you could have done. Seeing as everybody except Kai is okay, I don't know how old Tsubasa's supposed to be, but pretty sure everybody is supposed to be in their 20s at least. So you could have it so that maybe they learned that they were part of a family of magicians, like maybe around the time that they were teenagers, and you could have it be told from Kai's point of view, where he's finding out for the first time while everybody else has kind of already known this, and they keep it a secret from Kai because he's a kid and he might not be ready for it. And that can actually mesh well with the whole oh well, we don't know about Kai because he doesn't really. We don't know if he has that courage or not to use magic just yet.
Yeah,
and then you could have the rest of the episode play out exactly the same, and it would have been fine.
It would have been, it would have fixed all the issues. Because, I mean, I hate to go back to Magiranger because it's a bad season, but the premise is there. Jean was used as a surrogate character because he doesn't know about the world of the Magirangers, and neither do we. So we kind of see everything new through his perspective. And even though, and I know Riz is going to say something, shut up and let me say this. It's a good premise it's a good premise to introduce a team. Have them already kind of be pre-established, but you have a new face walking in to learn everything at the same time we do. And I think that would have been perfect for this. Actually,
you know what? The kind of
hang on, Patrick. Anthony, hang on. Okay. Let me get this out real quick. I wasn't going to disagree with you on that. I think you're correct on everything you just said.
Yeah.
My only complaint is Don's an idiot.
I mean, yeah, but like, and I know that Galranger did the same thing too.
And the sky is blue.
And I know Galranger did the same thing because Wild Force and Galranger are essentially the same show, but it's a premise that I think works. And in the way you described it, it would have been perfect for this because we can't teach you this stuff until you're 18 years old. Well, Kai's not 18 yet, but they were forced into a situation where he had to learn it. So now he's the rookie, and all the siblings are teaching him to catch him up.
No, and I think that'd been a lot better. I think okay, so in general, taking Magiranger and Galranger and Wild Force out of the equation, because we all know my opinion on Magiranger, and I have mixed opinions on Wild Force and Cole's introduction as well.
Yeah.
And I've heard Galranger is copy and paste of Wild Force, or Wild Force to copy and paste of Galranger in this case. But all that aside, the idea of the premise is good. I just don't think we've seen a season of Sentai or Ranger that has taken that premise and been a season with good storytelling.
I mean, well, no. I don't think you could say it's they did that with Gingaman, because in Gingaman's case, Ryoma had been training alongside them the whole time. It was just a matter of him having to become red because his brother got
No, Ryoma, he was ready. He could have done it from he had been training, so there's no.
He was just the backup option.
Yeah, he was the B team, like a B squad member. So that's not a big deal. But in this case, in all three that I just listed, Geki, Gao and Wild Force,
Mm-hmm.
they had the same premise, and they epically dropped the ball in all three. I'm assuming for Power Ranger. I've never seen Power Ranger. I have no intention
Power
to see Power
Ranger drops
Ranger.
the ball. It drops the ball.
Okay, okay. I just didn't want to come out and say it without like having seen it because I don't like doing that.
Yeah.
But I can definitely say that Wild Force dropped the ball heavily, and whenever we get around to doing Power Ranger Wild Force, we'll have a talk about that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
However, I will say my opinion on Wild Force is kind of softened a little bit over the years.
Because of Philip Andrew.
Philip Andrew and Zach Goodsman, man. Those two are...
Yeah, that's fair. Jack Guzman's pretty cool.
I love Zach Goodsman. He is such a cool dude.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, besides that, like, actors aside, because actors are not the thing that makes the season good or not. They're just given a script and to go perform it.
Yeah.
The writing is the problem. And here, they had a golden opportunity to do something really cool. Like, I think the Harry Potter idea of making Kai learn along the way would have made more sense. And honestly, like having... And we'll get to that in the next episode. I'll hold off on that part for now.
Yeah, and like, I sympathize with what Patrick is saying, but there's a couple of things about this episode that does kind of make me not want to be too harsh on it, because I've made it clear. I made it clear in O Ranger, and I made it clear in almost every first episode that it's very important that a first episode kind of establishes the personalities of the main Rangers well. And I feel like this episode does that pretty well. You know, I've already listed out their personalities, and I don't think all of them are made perfectly clear, although you could argue that they're going the route of like having you know, Hoka and Subasa being a bit more skeptical, and we'll see that a bit more in the next episode, because they're the ones who seem a little afraid to go out, and Urara and Makito are trying to drag them along. And then the episode is for the most part dedicated to Kai, but I don't think the other four are left completely in the dust, so I think they do a good job there. And honestly, the thing that kind of makes me want to give this episode a little bit of credit is that I do really like the whole thing that they do with Kai, where Kai is doing this whole reckless thing, like, you know, he's charging into danger, and it does kind of hit a little bit of a deep message that you don't really expect to see much, where it perfectly defines the difference between being fearless and being courageous. Because here's the thing, fearlessness does not exist. I know that there are some people who are going to say they're not afraid of anything. Anybody who says that they are fearless are just people who are saying that to mask insecurities. Courage is something that people can have, because in order to be courageous, you have to be afraid, because you have to have fear, but you act anyway. That is courage. And it does hit a bit deeper, and I do think they do a good job at really kind of, in later episodes too, you know, really hitting home this idea that courage is the big thing about magic that creates magic. I think the courage theme is hit home pretty well. So there's some good elements in this episode, and I do see what Patrick is saying. Honestly, if they just made that one switch up where you had Red be the point of view character, this probably would have been a first episode on par with the Ginga Man episode. But I think there's still some good elements here to make it not amazing, but salvageable, I guess you could say.
I think one thing that kind of helps support Nate's point, and you might have said it in that somewhere, but I'm going to restate it because I'm me and I will do whatever I want. I think Kai's entire, like, courage and the lack of it in the beginning, and his mom being very concerned about it, was a much better opening story than Nick just not being able to understand magic.
Yeah, because using courage as the fuel over belief is a lot better.
Well, not only that, but I had some issue with Nick in the beginning where he clearly sees magic all around him.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
But he just couldn't understand how to believe in the thing he was seeing in front of his own two eyes. So
yeah,
that was a bit more of a disappointment for me. But I think here it made more sense how Kai was like, okay, yeah, I'm a dumb, reckless teenager with no idea what I'm doing. So he learns courage by wanting to protect his family, and that's very valid in my opinion.
Yeah,
I also love
that I think is honestly handled perfectly.
No, it is.
Yeah.
I also love, and I don't know if I can't remember if it was established in this episode or not, but they're being granted the powers via like gods from another realm, essentially.
Yeah, they say that in this episode.
Yeah, okay. I like that idea of they're rewarding them for fighting through their fears. Like that's why it's courage that fuels it, because they see them as courageous warriors, and these mystical gods want to grant them more powers as like a reward or something.
Yep.
I know it's kind of like a weird excuse to get around the whole, well, they can just suddenly do something new now, but it's done in a way that's not like, like you look at it and you're like, well, how did they earn this? Well, it was a simple excuse to give them a way to earn things easily. And
take that, Megaforce.
I like that. Yeah, I was about to say, I'm looking straight at Megaforce.
It was good. Yeah, and I like how they're kind of already laying the groundwork for the greater mythology here with the Heaven Saints and Magitopia, because and they're going to delve a little bit more into that as we go on. And
are they good?
I mean, they do it all. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen this, but I remember liking it pretty good. But I do like because the whole thing kind of I mean, this isn't too much of a spoiler because it's kind of already been established, but the Heaven Saints are the equivalent of what they call the ancient mystics in Power Rangers. It's like what Liambo was and what White Daggeron was, like those monster forms. And I just think that the story, they have a clear idea of like what these things are and like what they do, as opposed to Mystic Force, where it's like, okay, were they the Mystic Warriors? So does that mean Daggeron was one of the Mystic Warriors? But then why does he have a Solaris Knight form? Like, it gets a little bit confusing. I feel like and not only that, but they didn't really lay the groundwork too much with the mythology outside of just saying, oh, there was good magic, evil magic, and now it's all come back. Like, I feel like they're laying the groundwork a bit better for some greater mythology here.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I get what Patrick is saying, which is why I'm not going to give this a super high grade. But the thing is, the good stuff in this episode is so good that I feel like ranking it any lower than a 7 would just be kind of unfair. So, I mean, probably thinking a 7 or an 8. What do you guys think?
I'm going with a 7.5.
I want to acknowledge the points you made, because everything you said that's a positive about this episode, I actually agree with. I think they did a great job of characterizing everybody. They did a good job of establishing the lore, the foundation for the lore of the show and everything.
Yeah.
They did all that great. The courage message, I think, was handled perfectly. But that one thing just bothered me too much. I'm giving it a 6. Like, I think that's like a perfect halfway.
That's fair.
Yeah, I was going to go with 6 as well, for the same reason as Patrick. I think Nate, you made a lot of good points, and I agree with everything you said. But at the same time, I can't overlook just all the things that they could have done better.
Yeah. Like if they approached this episode like the Geki Ranger approach, where Red was the new man in, or the Shinkenger approach where everybody just knew, this would probably be like a 9 for me, if they went about it that way.
I hate to give Geki Ranger points because I've made it very clear that I'm not a fan of that Sentai, but they did the whole Red being the new one while everyone else is active already, and they handled it well. Okay, they didn't handle it the best, but I mean, Matsui, my man, like, why didn't you just copy your predecessor? Come on, man.
Or copy its Power Rangers counterpart, which did it even better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Power Rangers SPD did that way better.
Yeah.
But yeah, now we're going to move on to stage 2, Bring Out the Courage, Majika. This is basically a follow-up of the first episode, where we get a couple of debuts as well as an unfortunate death. Walzard attacks the Magirangers. Miyuki shows up. She uses her magic to enlarge herself, and she tries to fight him off. But she's no match for Walzard. She gets overpowered, and her children are only able to watch in horror as her body vanishes into snow. The 5 children mourn over the loss of their mother, and Tsubasa and Hoka are left particularly traumatized. They're unsure if they can fight. So while the other 3 are fighting off the Inferja because they're insisting that they're basically determined to avenge their mom, Tsubasa and Hoka get led to a hidden room in the Ozu's house. This will be their base for the remainder of the series. A pre-recorded message from Miyuki reveals that many years ago, a war between Magitopia and Inferja broke out. The Inferja were sealed away by one of the heavenly saints. That heavenly saint was actually the Ozu's father, who he died, and they previously thought he died while he was out on an expedition. And she tells them that they must have courage and fight. And the 2, after getting the pep talk from their mom, regain their courage, and they decide to fight on for their parents' sake. And through their courage, the Magirangers unlock a new power that allows them. So these are the mechs for the season, but they're not actually mechs because they're not piloting them except when they combine. But we'll talk about that later. They actually transform into giant monster versions of themselves called the Majin. Makito is Maji Taurus. It's a bull-like form that wields a giant axe. Hoka is the Maji Fairy, the fairy-like form. It can turn into a ball called the Magiranger Ball. Urara becomes Maji Mermaid, a mermaid-like form, wields a trident. Ibasa becomes Maji Garuda, a Garuda-like form that can fly and attack enemies with its wings. And Clyde transforms into Maji Phoenix, a humanoid phoenix form that wields a sword. These were all called the Mystic Titans and Mystic Force. At the end of this episode, we see Bronkin, Valkyria, and Walzar reporting to a mysterious monster named Inma. He is the Emperor of the Inferja. He was called the Master in Mystic Force. He appears in a pool of energy, and only one of his eyes is seen. So, kind of like the Eye of Sauron. I guess they don't want to just be making references to Harry Potter here. They got to throw in some Lord of the Rings stuff too. And Von Pryack has her first encounter with the Magirangers here. We also find out that she has 2 humanoid forms called Nye and Mare. Nightmare, get it? Haha.
Get him off the stage.
Yeah, they combine together to take on the Valkyria monster form. At the end of this episode, the Ozu's siblings, they briefly mourn the loss of their mom, but they realize that they can't stay sad forever. And they accept their responsibilities as the Magirangers. And also in this episode, we get the debut of the Skyhokies. They're flying motorcycle and broomstick-like vehicles that transform from regular broomsticks. They were called Mystic Racers in a Mystic Force. Each of the Magirangers have one, but we only see Tsubasa and Hoka's here. What do we think about stage 2, guys?
I like it, but I really feel like if they did the thing we said that they should have done with episode 1, this would have been better by association. Because think about it, if they had grown up knowing that she was an amazing magician, sorceress almost, and the one time you finally see her in battle, she gets offed. It would have had a much bigger impact, I feel.
I get that, but I still think that there's a good enough weight here for this to actually be a lot better than the previous one because they handle the emotion of like seeing Machi Mother get killed pretty well. The scene where like everybody is mourning. And honestly, I mean, it gives some great characterization for Tsubasa and Hoka as well, since you know they're clearly the most traumatized, and they like I don't know, like I see what you're saying, and it would have been a lot more powerful had the previous episode gone out the way that it did, but I feel like this one is a bit more stronger to stand up on its own 2 feet.
I mean, if you take it in the context of the whole day, over the span of like the last 4 hours, these guys have seen their mom come out as a magician, got magic powers themselves, and then watched her get killed. Like, this is one heck of a day for these kids.
Yeah. Also, Toei, really appreciate the fact that you just debuted the Majin, but you didn't jam in any combination stuff in this episode. Really, really, really appreciate that.
Yeah, I know. Like, I know Magic King is not going to show for another few episodes. Thank you for this. I don't think we'll get to it, but I don't think his introduction was handled as well as some of the others, but at least they sat on him a little bit.
Yeah. Plus, I really like how the debut of the Majins, like, it's basically an alternate form for the Magirangers, and they're fighting the monster as if they're fighting a normal monster, and they do it in a teamwork type of way, but they don't feel the need to jam in the Magi Dragon or Magi King form just yet.
That is one thing I always liked about Mystic Force, was that they were like giant monster forms instead of like robots.
Yeah.
And it works just as well. I think it works better here.
Yeah. And I hate to talk too bad about Mystic Force here, but because sometimes when they learn new spell codes, it worked, especially in episodes that revolve around Xander. But in other cases, it was weird because they combined this episode and the next episode into one in Mystic Force. And the weird thing is that it revolves a lot around Chip and Vita doing their own thing, which, okay, fine, it works for what it is. But then Xander doesn't do anything for most of the episode, but because they're taking footage from the next episode, you all of a sudden have Xander unlocking the spell code to unlock the Mystic Dragon formation, even though he didn't do anything. Like, it's not quite as good as how Megaforce handles it, but it just still feels clumsy. Like, here, them developing the courage to fight, even though their mom has been killed, that feels genuine and it feels earned completely.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
They're doing a very good job of, at least in these 5 episodes, the people who get the focus are the ones that get the reward.
Yeah.
Which is something that some seasons haven't done very well.
Yeah. Oh, and I know that people give trash to this one episode of Megaforce that's an episode revolving around Troy, and then Jake and Gia get the power up. Well, guess what? It's the same thing in the Sentai. Gosei Red gets all the focus, and then voila, this power up for Gosei Black and Gosei Yellow just pops up out of nowhere. So, Mystic Magiranger definitely handles that way better. Riz, do you want to chime in on anything with stage 2?
I think Patrick had made some good points about, this could have been a lot better had they taken our ideas from before. I also think, unlike, I don't know if y'all have said it yet, but I think this episode on its own did a much better job of being dark and gritty and meaningful, more so than O-Ranger could ever been.
Yep.
Like, this is a really dark episode.
Oh, no, it is. And it adds to it because they're actually bothering to write these characters as people. That goes a long way in making some of this stuff work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now that Riz and Patrick have seen this, I kind of feel a bit more comfortable saying this. Honestly, I can't, like, the whole dynamic of them having to learn magic as they go without the guidance of a mentor. I feel like that makes for a bit more of a stronger, for a stronger premise. And I kind of wish that, I get why Mystic Force didn't want to kill off Udana, because it's Power Rangers, it's America. You don't want to see people get killed, but you could have Udana be captured by Korag, and you can have Claire there to be kind of a sort of mentor to them in the same way that a character that we're going to meet in the next episode kind of sort of ish fills that role. But I don't know. I just think that this whole dynamic with them having to like learn as they go and become stronger over time through their own training, I just feel like that's a little bit more of a stronger premise. And not to bang on Mystic Force too much because I do like Udana as a character, but I just think that works a bit better.
No, I was literally about to say something like that. I did kind of wish that Udana was, yeah, not killed per se, but like taken out of the picture for a little bit, because it does add more gravitas here.
Yeah.
Because now it really feels like these guys are out of their depth.
Yeah, it's like they're so screwed. They have no mentor, they have no plan, and they have like no direction either. There's like no leader or anything for this thing yet.
Yeah. In fact, to compare it to one of the greatest Toku things of all time, it's kind of similar to through Power Rangers in Space, where for the first 5 seasons you've had Zordon and Dimitri in one case, and they're just holding your hand, giving you guidance and telling you everything what to do. But now we don't know where Dimitri is, and Zordon's been captured and he's slowly being drained life. You got no one to guide you, and all you can do is just try to find him with no idea where to look.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the same thing here. But before we give the rankings out to 10, Anthony, did you want to chime in on this one at all?
Yeah. So, this was a lot. Just the fact that, but I do like the fact that some of the kids handle the death different than the others did, because Kai obviously wants revenge and he wants to go out and find him like immediately. Where like Yellow and Pink are kind of like, I mean, we're grieving right now, man. Like, what are you talking about? So I like that premise.
But yeah, this one, honestly, I get what people are saying with how it could have been a bit better if the previous one was good. But if I'm just judging it by itself, which is what I kind of want to do, I'd honestly give this a 9. Like, I think it works very well. What is everybody? Yeah.
I can see this being a 9, yeah, because the emotion is really high here.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'd say I had an 8.
Okay, fair. All right, let's move on to stage 3. Ride the Magical Dragon, Magirangers Jinga. This is the debut of it's a Makito-centric episode, but it's the debut of a new mech combination. The premise of this episode is that Makito finds out that Kai is designated as the leader of the Magirangers, and it causes him to become jealous, and we get a bit of sibling rivalry here. At the beginning of this episode, the Magirangers meet Mandora Boy. He's a living mandrake plant. If you watched Harry Potter, specifically the second one, you know what a mandrake is, because they play a big part in that movie. Basically, these plants where you pull it up and it's like a little person, and they let out like this powerful scream. So yeah, he's a living mandrake plant. He's been living in the hidden base for a while. He gets released from a pot when Kai accidentally pulls him out. Mandora Boy acts as kind of an advisor to the Magirangers for the remainder of the series. I guess, like I said, kind of fills the Claire role in that he's a comic relief type of character, but it's not a perfect analogy there, because Mandora Boy doesn't have a counterpart in Mystic Force. So yeah, I'm not even going to bother trying to say who you can compare this to. The Magirangers unlock a new spell to form Magi Dragon in this episode. It basically Magi Taurus, Magi Fairy, and Magi Garuda all combine to form a dragon. It can fly and shoot fire energy at enemies. Magi Phoenix can ride it. And it can launch a fireball, which Magi Phoenix kicks at enemies to finish them off. The Magirangers have their first encounter with high Zobials. They're higher ranked, stronger versions of the Zobial foot soldiers. They were called Styxoids in Mystic Force. And yeah, that's all the background information for this episode. What do we think about it?
I think I found a pretty good comparison for Mondor Boy. He's moke but annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I would not call him Moke. Moke gave good advice and help.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that's what the but annoying part was for.
No,
I don't know. It's still quick. I think it's still quick. Huh?
No, he's more like that guy from Zyuranger.
Arza?
Yeah, sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah. I'm just going to read this book and try to find something. Hopefully within the next 48 hours, I'll have an answer for you. Well, you're real helpful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Out of the 5, this is probably my favorite episode of these first 5. Makito is hilarious in this episode.
Yes.
I love, especially as a big brother myself, I kind of understand where he's coming from, and his like over the topness when he like, oh, he's a strawberry and I'm the field and I'm here to help, and everybody's looking at him like, what the heck are you talking about?
So much.
Like, okay, this episode made me like him. He's such a fun character because he's so like, he's not, I'm glad he's not like the stern, overprotective, like mature one. I mean, he is mature, but he's like goofy about it. He's the fun kind of mature. He's not like his Gingaman counterpart where he's like the stern man of the group. Hayate, but he's fun and he still fills the role, but he's a lot better at it, I guess.
Yeah, I think the better comparison, if we're bringing up Gingaman, is that he's a slightly more mature version of Goki, because Goki's kind of like their big brother who takes care of him. But while Goki's kind of a goofball and just likes to be all like happy-go-lucky, Makito has the maturity, but he's also kind of a little over the top and can be a little too clumsy.
Yeah, and him and Kai bounced off each other in this episode was great.
Yeah.
Like,
and honestly, I hate that they didn't try to adapt this plot from Mystic Force, because as much as I like the Chip and Vita dynamic from the episode that they adapted from this, honestly, an episode where Xander finds out that Nick is the leader, and then he's all like, well, wait a minute, shouldn't I be the leader? I mean, I'm the boss of the Rock Boy, so why am I not the leader? That would have been a perfect episode, and I would have liked that.
It was a lot of fun, actually, yeah.
I don't know if it would have worked because I don't see Nick being so eager to be the leader like Kai is.
Fair, but Nick might kind of just, I don't know, Nick kind of was established as being a little arrogant, so he could have just been like, oh, hey, I'm the leader.
It probably would have, it probably wouldn't have been as like brotherly irritating like it is in the show. It would have probably been more like Nick is just trying to tick Xander off.
Yeah. I mean, if you remember that episode where Xander almost gets turned into a tree, Nick starts like throwing a bunch of dad jokes about trees in that episode. Like, hey, Xander, don't get too sappy. Like,
no, he was like, no, leave Xander alone. That's what he said.
Yeah, Riz, Nick might have given you a run for your money when it comes to those dad jokes in that episode.
Yeah.
He's like, he could never. He's like, I'll legit think he was gonna say, he got nothing on me. He could never.
Yeah, I really like this. I really like how I really like how these first 5 episodes, like the previous episode, kind of was shared between Hoka and Tsubasa. Here we get an episode that's primarily dedicated to Mikito with a little bit of Kai sprinkled in, but it's still mostly Mikito. The next episode, spoiler, is going to be an Urara episode. I like how they're giving all the other Magirangers like an episode to give more of a like they laid a foundation for who these characters are in the first episode, and now they're trying to more or less kind of build on those foundations for the future of the series, and I very much appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I said, this could have felt like a super forced episode, but this is kind of where the family dynamic honestly kind of helps this Sentai because it truly does feel like it's just an older brother and his little brother just getting into a fight, which I have a younger brother myself, and we got into fights all the time. So I can tell you this felt 100% natural and it was completely entertaining, and I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Do you want to chime in? Yeah, go ahead, Patrick.
I was saying this is like a 9. This episode for me is a 9. I loved it.
Yeah, definitely 9 for me as well.
This is a 9.5, I think.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think part of it for me, I don't think I said too much about this episode yet, but I don't know, was it one of you three or was it somebody else that told me I would not like the red in this season?
I think for me, I was saying that there was a chance that Nick could be annoying, but because he is a
Nick?
little kid, and no, not Nick, Kai.
Kai? Yeah,
I was
Kai.
telling you that Kai, you might find him annoying because he is a little childish, but
no, dude, he's actually perfect as a red for this season.
He reminds me a lot of Sasuke.
It's like a mix of Sasuke and I don't know what else to mix him with, but he has a lot of Sasuke in him.
Yeah, like
but
yeah. We'll save that.
I think the thing I like about him though is he is a little kid, and they're doing a great job of illustrating genuine sibling interactions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, this is a very typical thing where, the older sibling will want to be the boss. And he'll get pissed at the younger kid. The younger kid's like, oh, like, he, look at me, I'm the boss.
Yeah, I kind of forgot how, like, I never disliked Kai, but which is why I wasn't trying to say too much about anything with Riz. Plus, I kind of learned my lesson because I thought we were all going to hate Hikaru and Gingaman, and I think I was wrong pretty quickly. So, kind of not doing that anymore. But I always kind of thought that Kai was good, but well, we'll talk a little bit about that a bit more when we get to the tier ranking. But yeah. But yeah, let's move on to stage 4, the King of the Majin, Maji Garuma Maji Jinga, which is the debut of the main mech, Maji King. It's a Urara and Kai-centric episode where Urara gets turned to stone when she gets into a feud with Kai over his carelessness, and Kai really wants to save his older sister. The Magirangers use the magic emergency call for the first time in this episode. It was introduced at the end of the previous episode where people will perform a ritual to call for help. The Magirangers will see this cry on their divine mirror, and then they'll try to help out by doing investigation stuff. Mandara Boy reveals to Urara that her special power is the Blue Mage, allows her to perform fortune telling through a crystal ball. She frequently uses this to investigate into Inferja. She'll do this for the remainder of the series. But most importantly, the Magirangers gain the ability to combine all 5 of their Majin forms together to form their main mech, Maji King, the Titan Megazord. Even though the Magirangers transform into their Majin form, they do pilot Maji King in a chessboard-like cockpit. Maji King can fly, it wields the King Caliber sword, and can perform several finishing moves. And it's been a long time coming, but what do we think about Machi King, guys?
Behind Daijujin, this is my second favorite mech design.
Dude,
this
same, man.
Sick.
It's a pretty great mech. I like it. And I think we said this in the last Mystic Force review as well.
Yeah. This might actually be like, I know I praised Geki Toja before, but this might actually be my favorite Sentai from like these 2000s eras because the design looks good and it plays into that wizard design perfectly because the head looks like a wizard hat, like what
the wizard hat. The wizard hat is the thing, but it's the huge dragon wings that does it for me.
Yeah,
no other mech has anything like that. And when those wings are like sprayed out like that, the thing looks intimidating.
And it's cool too, because like when they're folded up in the back and then they spread out, you can kind of interpret that as like a wizard wearing its cloak to kind of look peaceful. But then when stuff gets real, it throws its cloak off to like take action. And that's like what the wings are with spreading out. Like that is such a creative design that, yeah, I'm with Patrick. This would probably be like, part of me wants to say it's better than Daijujin. I don't know if I would go that far, but this could compete with Daijujin, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is, I mean, again, we'll probably do a mech tier list at some point in the distant future, but this is honestly an S tier mech for me, honestly.
Oh, definitely. Like, this thing looks so cool. I actually might pick up the SMP model kit for it. SMP stands for Shokugan Modeling Project. It's like it's basically just like the Gundam model kits or like any model kit you've seen, like for Kamen Rider and all that. I think I might actually pick this up and actually make this thing.
Yeah, and I actually had the Titan Megazord toy and really loved it as a kid. So yeah, I just perfect suits, perfect mech, like everything in terms of design basis for this Sentai, at least so far, is just top notch. But yeah, that's all the information for stage 4. What do we think about this episode?
This episode's great for Kai. And it's one of the reasons why I made the Sasuke comparison, because one of the things we said about Sasuke during the early episodes of the Go-Onger was he's a hot-headed character, but he's willing to slow down, observe his surroundings, and learn from it. Kai is think first, ask questions later, but when he has a chance to slow down, he's not stupid. He's very witty. He's quick to pick up on things. And him picking up on the fact that it was mirrors, because this is actually true to Cockatrice lore. Their biggest weakness is seeing themselves in a mirror. So him picking up on that and using that after seeing her, what's that thing called? The little mirror thing she has.
Well, just a handheld mirror.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. I'm not sure what it's called though.
He saw that and picked up on it. Like, you got to respect how like quick on the upkeep he is.
Mm-hmm. And I think it was pretty good for Urara, just showing her to be where, she can get frustrated, but she doesn't hesitate to try to save Kai, even when she's absolutely angry at him. Like, I think this just kind of doubles down on the idea that she's basically the much like how Makito is the closest thing this gang has to a father. She's like the mother here, where she cares about them. She may get frustrated, but she's also the way that she gives Kai that pep talk at the end. Like, once again, this is just showcasing how really great the family dynamic is with this Sentai.
Yeah, I was trying to say earlier before Pat went on to headache ramble.
Sorry.
That episode 3 illustrates the siblings not getting along and working against each other. Episode 4 shows them working together for the sake of love and, their bond as siblings. And I think it's great that we're seeing both ways early on.
Yes.
And we're building great character interactions here by doing so. And also, Blue is such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Oh, she is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and also
I love that point, Riz, because if you've ever grown up in a family with a sibling, you'll have days where you'll want to strangle each other, and then you'll have days where you'll want to just pick them up by the hand, and guide them wherever you want to guide, wherever they want to go. And it's up and downs. It has its back and forth. And they're doing a good job of showing that, they can hate each other, and then the next day they'll be the first ones there to pick them up. And I love that.
No, I think these episodes are doing a great job of demonstrating this.
Yes.
And one of my fears when I first started watching Magiranger was, okay, we got this family, and my pessimistic view on Sentai is, are they going to really delve into the family thing a lot, or are we going to just kind of let it go to the wayside? But no, they're building in the family hijinks and drama into it. And, normally some of these character interactions might annoy me, but given the context, they're actually very endearing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to go off of what Riz is saying, there's a genuinely emotional moment after Urara gets turned to stone where everybody takes time to mourn it. Hey, listen, head writing of Knee Ninja, if you're listening to this, there's an episode where Yuka, or whatever Shiro Ninja is called, she gets captured, and could have been a great episode where Takaharu is mourning over how he couldn't protect his sister, and the others are also mourning that they couldn't help their cousin. But let's just make an episode about how Takaharu needs to leave out the importance of teamwork. So they can watch that so bad, and I really appreciate that they don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't have to convince these other guys how terrible Knee Ninja is, because they already know it. But still,
yeah,
I
haven't
will
seen
say
Knee Ninja, and I know.
So I actually this is actually the only Sentai that I have not been kept up to date with, because I think I stopped the episode right when that infamous episode that we will not speak of until we get to that point. That's the last time I saw it. Legit, I have not seen it since then.
I seriously need to sit down and watch Knee Ninja on my own time, just so I can fully understand how terrible it is.
I want to be able to watch Patrick watch episode 17.
I think it's 18 that you're talking about, Riz.
Is it 18? I thought it was 17.
Yeah.
I might do a thing sometime soon where I binge up to that episode, and then you guys can just sit back and record me ranting about it myself.
No. What we're going to do is we'll go on Twitch and just let you watch it on Twitch.
But yeah, the point is,
I feel like I have to watch this episode now.
No, this is
it's awful.
You don't understand. This is a rite of passage for Toku Secrets. You have to watch this episode. We have been making this episode into a lore for the podcast for almost the entire time Toku Secrets has been alive.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, point is, Knee Ninja doesn't handle the family dynamic all that well. Magiranger gets the thumbs up for that. And
do you think that's partly to do with this being 5 siblings and that being 2 siblings and a bunch of cousins or something?
No one's going to make that excuse, though, because here's the thing, we've had, the dynamic between Takaharu and Fuka isn't even played up that well. We've had Sentai's before where you've had just 2 siblings together, and it was one of the best dynamics that we've ever had. It was 2 goat sixth rangers and they go on wings. So we just don't find that to be an adequate excuse.
How did Go-Go 5 go about it?
I thought Go-Go 5 handled it okay.
Well, yeah, they handled it pretty well.
They?
I watched it, yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to. Okay. I'll withhold my judgment on that when we eventually get to Go-Go 5. But yeah, for this episode, I'm really thinking a 9, just because it was great for Tai, it was great for Urara. I can't really ask for much else.
Yeah,
no, it's definitely a 9. I'd agree with you on that.
9.
Same. If this is the way the character writing is going to be for this season, we're in for something pretty sweet, because this has been good. This has been good stuff.
Yeah,
I think we're looking at a pretty good season here.
Mm-hmm. I'm
actually kind of curious how y'all feel about the certain 2-part episode that Mystic Force did that we'll get to in the next batch.
Yep.
Hopefully. Next batch. The next batch, I think. Yeah.
All right. Last episode for this batch, Stage 5, The Way of Love, Majiro. This is a filler episode. We finally get a filler episode, Hoka-centric, where she tries to help Kai impress a girl that he has a crush on, but she kind of ends up messing up. We get the debut of a recurring character hero, Yuka Yamazaki. She's a classmate of Kai's, member of his soccer team. He has a crush on her. And believe it or not, this is actually a character that we've technically seen before, at least here in Tokyo Secrets, because because in the penultimate episode of Gokaiger, when we see Don and Joe pass by this building where people are helping them out, they actually got Yuka's actress to come back briefly and say, "Hey, have courage," while she's helping a little kid out there, and then she like holds up a doll of Maji Red. So this is technically a character that we've seen before. Just wanted to make that note. But yeah, only other thing to note, Kai confesses his feelings to Yuka, but she rejects him because she's fallen in love with someone else. Who isn't somebody else, you might ask? Maji Red. It's ironic, isn't it? Anyway,
if this ain't no some freaking Spider-Man, Peter Parker type of situation,
I was thinking of the entire time, this is gonna be a Spider-Man reference in here somewhere.
Yeah. There's definitely been some Spider-Man media where it's like, I like you, but I like Spider-Man more, and Pete's like, I'm the same person.
And you can't even be like, but he's me, I'm him, because you got secret identities according to the damn tree thingy.
Yeah. God, that's lame. I was like, no.
But yeah, I thought this episode was great for Hoka because it's a simple episode, but it does her pretty good. Where she's a little ditzy and she can be a little fearful, but when she thinks on her feet, she's able to do pretty well because she outsmarts the monster at the end. And at the end of the day, she does care about her siblings. I actually did like the whole thing with her trying to help Kai impress the girl, and some of those antics were actually pretty funny. So
yeah, they were pretty funny.
Yeah, Hoka, I feel like, is going to become a favorite of mine. She is crazy, but in a funny way. Can I just talk about how her fan form has the cape still?
Yeah.
I remember that.
I love that little visual thing.
It's funny because I remember in Mystic Force they said, like, in a bunch of fan sites, they say that Vita had the ability to shapeshift and all that. I really like how Hoka they use that with Hoka to a bit more comedic effect. I kind of wish that they did that they let Vita do that a bit more.
Yeah, because like the only time that she really changed anything was like, I think it was in the vampire episode, really.
Yeah. I mean, I don't bang on Vita too much because I love her to death, but yeah, they use it a bit better to an effect with Hoka.
So this is her unique power. You were always able to look at the crystal ball.
Yeah.
She's a shapeshifter. So everybody's got their own gimmick power. We haven't seen a couple of them yet then. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think this was as strong as as the previous two, but it was still a pretty solid one. How about Riz? Chime in here. Oh, go ahead, Patrick. What were you going to say first?
I was just saying it's a funny episode because giving a goofball like that the ability to change into things like but she the way she used it to lure the mimic was pretty clever. Like, it was a good use of her powers.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is a great episode in general. I mean, it's a very simple and fillery episode, but again, we're building the sibling dynamic, and seeing Hoka cheering on Kai, I think means everything in the world to me for seeing the sibling dynamics kind of be built.
Yes.
And I can't technically I can't relate to this because I'm a brother, not a sister, but like there was one point I do remember. I don't want to go into too much detail, but there was like a moment where like my brother was in a relationship and I was trying to help him do well. And there were some times where I was afraid that I was kind of doing more to mess it up than anything. So I can kind of relate to where Hope is coming from, where you see your little brother, he likes someone, and you just want to help him because he's your little brother and you love him. Like that's just what, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes older siblings just mess it up. That's just what we do sometimes.
Yeah. The whole gag of her like visualizing what she thinks will happen and then what actually happens is like good grief. There's a term for someone like her, and it's called a girl failure.
Yeah.
she is such a ditz, but I love her.
Right.
But yeah, either an 8 or a 9 for this episode. Good, very enjoyable.
Yeah, it's an 8. I don't think it's as good as the last two because of the very like intense character family dynamic moments and stuff, but this one's it's still adorable.
Yeah. Riz, Anthony?
I said my piece. I think this is a great episode.
Okay, cool.
I think I'll give it an 8.5.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think 8.5 is appropriate here.
Yep.
All right, that wraps it up. So to move on with the analysis, we don't really have to bring up much with villains because we're not going to get much deep into Wolzard until the next batch. Bronkin, who even is Bronkin at this point, and Von Curia, aside from the whole Nightmare thing, which, as Patrick just said, boo, get off the stage. That's not really a big thing. But yeah, we can begin with opening tier rankings for the.
Before we continue, Nate, I have to say one more thing.
Yeah.
So there actually is an in-story reason why when Vancouver splits herself into two people, there's actually a reason for that, but we won't find that out until we get to that two-parter.
Oh, yeah. So there actually is a reason? Okay, I was wondering if that was just something that was never going to be explained because it's such a bizarre, like, character trait.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll get to that soon. It's the
cool.
Yeah, it's the vampire episode, which that was a Mr. Force. I'm looking forward to revisiting that. I know Anthony's already watched it in advance. I'm very excited to revisit that. But yeah, let's do with the opening tier rankings. And I am gonna include Miyuki in here technically, but we'll get to her in just a second. Let's start with the main 5. We're gonna go in reverse order of the roll call here. So let's start off with the Red Mage, Kai. What will we say about Kai?
Kai has left a great first impression on me because when the season first started and I saw him being like, reckless, high energy and everything, my first opinion is hesitation because there's very few instances of a Red being like this that I'd actually enjoyed, and Sasuke is like the prime example of that. But he's not like the insufferable kind. Like I said earlier, he's quick-witted. He's not stupid. He just needs to learn to slow down for a second. But I like the guy. I like him a lot so far.
Yeah, I'd say so too. I don't think you could say that he's exactly like Sosuke, because Sosuke, okay, we love Sosuke to death, but Sosuke's an idiot. Let's just be clear here.
Yeah.
Sosuke is an idiot. He's not an idiot so much as he's just a little kid, but honestly, when I think about that, that kind of makes me think that he's a bit more of a unique Red, because he has that Sosuke like idiot Red in him, but I don't really know, like, because in most Sentai family dynamics, Red is always the oldest. Like that's how it was in 5-Man. That's how it always was in Go-Go 5. And that's how it was in Ni Ninja, but here Red is the youngest. So that honestly does kind of make Kai a very unique Red. And it's gonna be interesting to see what my final tier ranking for him is gonna be. But we can all give our tier rankings at the end after we just kind of give initial thoughts. Anthony, you want to go next?
This is about Sakai still, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I actually do like him. I was thinking I was gonna like him at first, but he was really growing on. He grew on me really quickly when I first watched this, not rewatching it. I mean,
yeah. And Riz,
I think Kai's at like a B tier, maybe A tier. I haven't fully decided yet where I put him, but that's around what I'm thinking right now.
Yeah, I think A is honestly just for the fact that I find him to be a unique looking red, because it's honestly unfair to say he's entirely like a Sosuke King and to a lesser extent Gon type of red, because he's not an idiot. He just has reckless tendencies. So yeah, I think A is.
Yeah, and he's a very unique red because he's not an idiot actually. Like he's actually pretty smart. But he lacks experience, both real world and Ranger experience.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's something I'm hoping to see from him is him progressing to be more of a calm, level-headed red. And if that's the case, he could become an elite red really quickly.
Yeah.
Yep. I think A is a good starting tier for him, just because for the uniqueness factor. Okay, next up
before we continue, I have to say one more thing about Kai.
Yeah.
Anybody who was willing to risk their life to give a child back their balloon gets my respect.
Agreed.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta love him for that.
True facts.
Yeah.
All right, next up we'll move on to the Yellow Mage Tsubasa. Anthony, do not give him your high ranking just yet. Please try to hold back before we get to the end.
Okay, so is that spoiling something? Because so far this is the guy I don't like. What did he do other than like
I think it's like the
sarcastically smugly like sigh at everything?
Patrick,
like,
let me help you out here.
Go for it.
I mean, it's all right. Like,
yeah, like he didn't do anything in these 5 episodes. Like they've done a good job of giving everybody some spotlight time. He's kind of gotten the short end of the stick in these early episodes so far.
Well, that's only because I have further knowledge of what he does later on. That's why I said that now. So.
You're setting my expectations high. If Nate had to restrain you.
Well, see, the thing is though, is that there's a certain episode that he does something amazing, but I'm not sure if you'll like him even before getting to that point. But we'll have to wait and see.
Okay, well,
yeah,
I'll keep my eyes out for it. Then.
Yeah, I have no problem calling him the weak link here, though, because aside from him technically sharing the spotlight with Hoka in episode 2, like here's the thing: episode 3 gave Makito some moments to shine. Episode 4 gave Urara some moments to shine and flesh out her character. Episode 5 did the same thing for Hoka. I mean, okay, I can't remember exactly what the next episode is because I haven't watched far ahead, but hopefully in the next batch we'll get a better idea of what he is. But yeah, he is definitely the weak link in this batch.
Mm-hmm. I don't like his attitude either.
Yeah, which sucks because Chip leaves a really great first impression.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All I kind of got is that like every season with the family dynamic has to have like that one sibling who's kind of like a cynical jerk, and he's like that, but I wish that we got more fleshing out of why he's a cynical jerk in these first 5 episodes. But I'd probably say maybe it's okay. This is just for me now because I also keep in mind that even though I've seen Magiranger before, that was a long time ago, so it's not entirely fresh on my memory. But from the starting date, doing it right now here, I want to say C tier.
I'll second that.
Yeah, I think
fair.
C is a pretty safe place to put somebody that I don't know anything about.
Yeah. All right, next up, let's move on to the Blue Mage, Urara. I thought Urara was pretty great in these episodes. I mean, first of all, her actress is very pretty. She was kind of one of my Sentai crushes back when I was watching this back in the day. I think her actress is great, and I think she's just a total sweetheart type of a character. I just think she's pretty good, honestly.
Oh, hello. Oh, hey, Kotaha. Yeah, no, Nate's saying he doesn't. He has another crush now.
And there we go. Yeah, I knew you were going to bring that up at some point in this episode, Riz.
I mean, look, you are the quintessential Kotaha simp.
Yeah, I know. But I kept warning you that there might be a point where I start simping for Magi Blue as well, and I am not going to
And what did I tell
that.
you? That I would remind you of your oath to Kotaha.
Okay,
You swore an oath, man. You swore an oath.
You swore an oath. And today,
you promised.
You promised.
What is the Night's Watch thing? It's now I've taken my oath and I'll stay on the wall or something.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I watched Game of Thrones.
Yeah, same here, man.
Yeah, what does everybody else want to say about Magi Blue?
I want to see a little bit more from her, but what I have seen, I like her a lot. I don't know how I want to compare her to her PR counterpart, because, I mean, Maddie was also a sweetheart in her own right. But I just want to see a little bit more from her.
I think she's not entirely like Madison, because Madison was a sweetheart, but she had the more timid personality, while Urara, she's not unwilling, she's not timid at all. She's very nice and has a gentle nature, but she's also not afraid to to be a bit more forceful when she needs to. So yeah, I think that works pretty good. I mean, it's a pretty standard female dynamic, but I think that they're handling it pretty well with her so far. Riz, you want to add anything?
No, I think the only thing I'm going to add here is I get the sense she's a lot more intelligent, and I'd like to see more of that going on.
Yeah.
I think the B tier is pretty good for her right now, because she's above Tsubasa, where we know a bit about her. We just got to see a little bit more.
Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable.
I think so.
Ranking.
Did you want to add anything, Anthony?
This is Aurora, right? We're doing Aurora.
Yeah,
this is our
Blue.
Okay. I really actually do like her character too. She gets funnier down the line too. Yeah, she'll make y'all laugh.
Oh yeah, there is one episode that she makes in a later episode that I love. It makes me laugh all the time. I know one of those moments he's talking about.
You can't make me hate this girl. I'm sorry. You can't make me hate this girl
at
all.
All right, let's move on to the Pink Mage, Hoka.
I'm debating on if she's actually my favorite of the group, just because I like female characters like her, where she's just very forward and unapologetic.
Here's the thing. I'm kind of having a bit of a Hikaru type of experience with her, because I didn't really hate her. I didn't hate her as much as I hated Hikaru when I first watched Ginga Man, but I just kind of thought she was all right, kind of the weak link. Watching this again, I kind of forgot how much of a likable character she was.
Yeah, she looks like the kind of character that anytime she puts herself in the spotlight, it's going to be a disaster. And I mean that in an endearing way.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'd want to put her in terms of Pink Ranger, though. I mean, her being a good character and her being a character that I enjoy watching are two different things. but I do think she is a good character. Like they did give us enough personality to have a solid first impression of her.
Yeah, I'm gonna want to withhold whether or not I would do this now, but like it aside from you from Boom Boomger and Sakura from Bokenger and Mako from Shinkenger, I've always had trouble like figuring out like who some of my other top 5 pinks would be. If Honko were able to kind of stay the course with what she is right now, I might actually consider putting her like she wouldn't be in the top 5 overall if I count Rita and Tsuruhime, but she would be in the top 5 if I'm just doing pinks exclusively, if she stays the course with what she's has so far. Riz, did you want to add anything?
For Hoka, I was kind of leaning on a high C, low B for right now because I would like to get more out of her before I commit to a B for her.
Fair enough.
I would say solid B personally, like nowhere high or low just yet. I think she's left a decent enough impression, like better than Tsubasa, honestly.
Oh no, much better than Tsubasa. I think there's, in my opinion, not enough yet.
Yeah, that's fair. Anthony, just to wrap this up, what would you say?
I like her. I mean, like, there are moments that, like, you know, she's just funny. She's just funny. But, like, it's going to sound controversial, but she's not my favorite of the group, honestly. She's just okay, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, we'll have to see, because I remember just liking her all right when I originally watched this, so we're going to have to see how she does down the line.
Yeah. I don't hate her. No. Never mistake me. It's not saying she's my favorite as me hating her. It's just she has to work her way up.
I mean, there's always going to be like a bottom of your list, even if they're all good.
Yeah.
So.
All right, now let's move on to Maji Green, Makito.
Love this guy. I love this guy.
Yeah.
He is the kind of character that I like, where he knows his place, but he goes about it in the dumbest ways possible.
Yeah, honestly, if I'm looking back at like all the family dynamic Sentais that I've watched, he would like of all the ones that are like the oldest sibling, like, okay, I thought Go Red was okay, and I thought Fibro was okay, but Makito would honestly be my favorite because instead of just having him be like the typical stern, never smiles, doesn't like to have any fun guy, they have him be serious, but they have him be serious in the most goofy type of way. Like that is legitimate, like great older brother energy. Like he gives off the best energy out of all of them, and I just love that from this guy.
I know, like, and I can relate to that, where I always try to put a goofy spin on things just because it's a lot easier. It makes everything more relaxing when someone's being stupid on purpose. So yeah. I relate to this guy. So that thing of when he was like, when Kai was like, "You're gonna jump off my shoulders again," and he was like, "No, actually, you jump off mine." And he like slapped him in the face. I'm like, okay, no, this guy's my bro.
Yeah. Yeah, like he's not quite on like that super goofy like Goki, but I don't know, he and Goki would probably make a pretty he and Goki are very similar enough to where it's just perfectly lovable.
Yeah.
And honestly, if he stays the course, which honestly, the fact that I remember a lot of good things about him, even after all these years later, I think he is going to stay that course. Honestly, he might have the potential to be an S tier. Now, I'm not going to put him in S tier right now because that's just jumping the gun a little too much. But
yeah,
he could be an S tier, which the only other S tier green I would have right now would be Chiaki. So, I mean, he could compete with Chiaki, honestly.
I mean, he laid a good foundation to be on that level.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job. I'm giving him an A tier for right now.
Yeah, same.
So what's interesting, y'all, is that believe it or not, I actually did a recording of Maji Green for a roll call for a YouTube video a while back.
Oh, cool.
Really?
You'll have to show us that at some point.
Yep. It was a big roll call for all the Sentai Rangers or whatever. I wanted another Ranger, but I ended up getting Magic Green, so I tried to record my lines over and over and make sure that the roll was right.
Yeah, I know she only appeared in 2 episodes, but I'm still gonna have it here, and I'm not gonna have her in the next one since we're not gonna see her for a while. But we can gauge Miyuki just for what we know right now. So what do we want? And this is in regards not for White Rangers, but more for just extra Rangers in general. Like, what would we say about Miyuki, Maji Mother?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna scream at her for not having told her kids about this crap sooner.
Yeah, that's that. I definitely agree with you on that.
But I love how you can tell from the way she speaks that she's confident in them, and it probably for them who just got thrown into all this mess was probably pretty reassuring that their mom was like, yeah, you know nothing about this, but I still trust you guys to be able to beat it because you're of our bloodline, kind of thing. So I do like that. I can't wait to see what she's like when she returns, because I mean that's one of those no crap things, because Mystic Force had Udana morph again later in the show. We know she's going to be coming back.
Yeah.
I want to see more of her and what her role becomes when she becomes a mainstay again.
Yeah. Right now, I think just because she has that dynamic, and not only that, but she's going to appear off again, on again, as kind of appearing in spirits sometimes. So I think she kind of fills that dead mom role kind of well. So I would probably say that. I mean, honestly, it's probably safe to just put her in C tier right now because she didn't do anything to egregious, aside from not telling her kids that they're a bunch of magicians. But aside from that, I would say that she's left not a bad impression, but not a great impression either. So I think C is probably appropriate.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I think she left a pretty good impression because clearly there's some trauma in that episode because they made an offhand comment early on that she doesn't believe in magic or something.
Yeah.
Which indicates to me that she's trying to distance herself from the magical part of her life. And she only started revealing the background because, well, hey, we got monsters attacking Angel Grove, so we got to do something.
Yeah.
So I think there's trauma there hidden that we haven't seen yet. And I think that's a really powerful thing that we got some indication of that early on. And she wasn't just some witch that was hiding from her family. Like, she had a reason to hide it. We just don't know the reason yet.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't put C. I'll put a B for her.
Fair enough. I kind of agree with that, actually. I want to take a shot at, because I think you have a really good point that she's traumatized from something, and it has something to do with our Purple Knight guy. That if you know anything about Mystic Force, you know exactly who he is.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take his guess and say it has something to do with him.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that wraps up all the tiering. So, do we have any closing thoughts before we wrap up here, gentlemen?
Aside from my issues with the first episode, what a great start. Honestly, character writing wise, what a great start to a Sentai. The dynamics, the characters, the personalities, everything was so pronounced and not overbearing.
Yeah.
So if this is the way Magirangers is going to be, I am looking forward to this.
Yeah, same. I'm really enjoying what I've seen so far. Despite that problem at the beginning, Pat, I think they've worked around it well enough that, okay, maybe they don't need to be learning or giving us more insight. Like, the sibling dynamic is enough for me for right now.
Yeah. Like, I mean, if the show ends up holding up this quality to the end or gets better, I'll scoot that under the rug because it's not going to have a lasting impact on the season as a whole. It's just that to start off, they could have started it a little bit better, but I can live with it if the rest of it is up to this par.
Yeah, definitely. I just really appreciate that everybody except Tsubasa got an episode to like shine and like flesh them out as a character. And I mean, we'll get someone with Tsubasa soon enough. So
Good.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts you have, Riz, before we wrap up here, Anthony?
I'm greatly enjoying my magical journey to become a magician, and I think this Sentai has a lot of really good potential ahead, and I'm excited to see it uncovered.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So I'm already kind of ahead of you guys already. So like, just by a little bit. So far, I hope you guys keep enjoying this because it gets pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, Anthony, hit me up. You've seen Magiranger before, right?
Yes, I have.
Okay. I wasn't too sure if you had just like watched ahead and you knew stuff or if this was like a revisit for you.
It's a revisit.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that wraps up our first review for Magiranger, guys. It definitely left some great first impressions outside of the first episode having some issues. So yeah, we are definitely looking forward to continuing this. Next time we return to Magiranger, we'll be taking a look at stages 6 through 10. But yeah, we will catch you guys next time when we take a look at Gojuger, and we will be back to Magiranger soon enough. But until that time, bye for now. If you enjoyed listening to the Toku Secrets podcast, please check us out at animesecrets.org and follow us on all our social media pages such as Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And also feel free to check out our other podcasts, including Anime Declassified and the Jedi Squadron. You can also leave us any feedback you'd like to offer us directly on our website. If you're listening to this on Spotify or iTunes, we thank you so much, and please leave us a rating out of 5 stars. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel if you're not already subscribed, and leave any comments down below, as we love to take the time to read comments left on our channel and give our fans, shout-outs. If you have any seasons of Super Sentai, Power Rangers, or other tokusatsu shows that you'd like for us to check out, please don't hesitate to say so in your feedback. With all that said, we thank you so much for taking the time to listen to our podcast, and we will see you next time as we continue our never-ending journey through the world of tokusatsu. But until that time, you all stay safe, we love you, and may the power protect you.